Okay, welcome to the Claret and Big Blue podcast. Probably the only podcast on the internet dedicated to West Ham United and the New York Giants. That's right, football and football. Balls for everyone's tastes. My name's Mike, here in New Jersey, US. Don't be fooled by the accent. And I'm joined by the man of many podcasts, the man of many voices, I guess. You might know him from Pasta Gravy, Bro, and the Rod Ryan Morning Show. It's Mr. Alex Middleton. Alex, how you doing?
Dude, thanks for having me on. I literally didn't think there was another person in the entire world that was a Giants and West Ham fan, but I'm glad that I have found you, my friend.
The power of Twitter, I guess.
Right? I guess so. That's what made it all happen.
I can't remember how we first got connected up, but one of us must have tweeted something that the other person liked, I guess.
Yeah, and then I don't know, but it worked out, and we are both, I guess, miserable together most of the time. But now this week, it was a rare positive week.
Very rare. But I mean, before we get into that, so obviously, I'm sure people are thinking like, oh, an English person likes an American sport, and an American likes an English sport. So like, how did you get into not football, but in West Ham of all teams, I guess?
Well, on my podcast, Pass the Gravy, I was kind of like, football was winding, the NFL was winding down, and mostly the Giants were out of it. So I was like, I want to just get into English Premier Soccer because I wake up for a morning show all the time. So like on the weekends, my body clock is just kind of fucked. I guess we can curse on this one, right? We're just going to get off the bat. We're going to curse on this. So my body clock is kind of fucked. So like I don't sleep super late on weekends anyways. And I was getting up and like I enjoy sports. So soccer was always on. And I was like, I should just start following a team and then just like start paying attention and it'll give me a reason to like get into it. And I was talking to my co-host Pat on my podcast and I was just like, well, like I want to pick a team. I don't want to be a bandwagon ass bitch, you know, like that'd be like if you just moved over to the States and you're like, I'm a Patriots fan. I guess maybe not this year, but in past years, you know. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be a bandwagoner. So like, let's just find a team that's like okay, but it's kind of like fun, and then just follow them. And he was telling me about Green Street Hooligans, the movie. Mm-hmm. And then we settled on, he showed me I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. So I was like, I'm fucking sold. Like, I'm in. Let's do this. And so that was pretty much how we picked West Ham. They weren't top six, I guess, which is not really the best thing to pick, but whatever. We picked West Ham, and then I stuck with them. I found a watch group here in Houston, and the Bayou Ironworks is what we were called. And I've started watching games with them. And now we're like even playing soccer on Saturday morning. So I went from like not really giving a shit to I'm pretty hardcore into it now in like about 3 years.
So that was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, Bubbles. So just talking about, obviously you heard the song for the first time, I guess.
Yeah, Pat played it for me, and I was like, dude, that's pretty dope. I'm in on this.
I think listening to that song just sums up West Ham because it's kind of uplifting.
It really does.
Also pretty depressing as well.
Well, like, you can't get mad, like, when they let you down. You're like, dude, that's literally in our song. Like, just like my dreams, they fade and die. You're like, yeah, man. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Like, every game, they're telling you, yeah, your hopes are going to die. So,
right. Enjoy it. Like, but what would you expect, dude? Maybe maybe it's the attitude. Maybe if we change, like, I don't want to change Bubbles, but, like, maybe that's part of it. It's like you got to speak it into existence, and they're constantly saying, like, we're going to let you down. If we could remix it, maybe. Like, let's just try that out.
Just like my dreams, they kick your ass or some shit like that.
They kick, yeah. That would, like, try that. Just one game.
Have to mix it up a bit more because Bubbles very rarely kick anyone's ass. I guess.
Right, and it's like a historic song, right? Wasn't it like a commercial?
Yeah, I think because it was something like for a soap powder,
something like that.
The 20s.
It had to be.
And one of the players looked like one of the people on the commercial, and so they started calling him Bubbles, and then the fans just started singing that song from the commercial, and it stuck, I guess.
I mean, it's a great song. It's a great song.
Maybe we need to find someone, like, we need to sign a player that looks like Rocky Balboa so we can just start singing Eye of the Tiger or something.
That would be pretty sick.
That would be hype.
I like that. Yeah, I'm all for that. Like, who looks like Rocky Balboa?
I mean, Balbuena.
Balbuena-ish. Rocky Balbuena. That'd be pretty sick. Oh, there's a name. There's a nickname.
Rocky Balbuena.
Yeah. We'll start trying that out. I guess it's international break. Give us a week or so, and then we'll start trying that out in the next game. We get Sheffield, right?
Is it?
I think so.
The Tevez derby.
What is that?
The Tevez derby. Was you?
Oh yeah.
Did you know the story, right? I know you've.
I just know that they have the Tevez masks.
Yeah.
Whenever they play, right?
So the backstory was West Ham one year, I can't remember how many years ago now, but they were pretty much dead and buried. They were about to be relegated. And then we did some really shady off the books deal or some shit to get Carlos Tevez. And then he turned our season around and we stayed up and Sheffield United got relegated. And they sued West Ham. And there was some out of court settlement that we had to pay him a couple of million to keep him happy, I guess. But a lot of Sheffield United fans still remember that.
Was Tevez like Payet before Payet? Like he just pretty much kept us up, saved us. I guess there's been quite a few guys like that probably for West Ham.
I guess there was him, DeCanio.
And then we have Michael Antonio last year, but we didn't have to like go out and get him.
No,
but he kept us up.
He's a beast of a man.
Right, but he kind of like sucks sometimes, and then just like he'll go through stretches where like, all right, this is the dude. Yeah, okay. It's like Lanzini now, where I'm kind of like, do I want Lanzini to check into a game? Am I excited? It was after Tottenham, I'm just convinced myself he's going to do that every time.
Yeah, he went for a long spell where he was just shit.
I think that injury and the World Cup kind of really ruined him.
I guess maybe it's a mental thing because he was
It could be
to play in the World Cup for Argentina, and then it all went to shit.
Yeah, and then he just never was the same until that Tottenham goal, which I will always like. Now that's my Lanzini memory.
It's a head of a fucking goal.
Yeah, I've watched that probably like 4,000 times. I'm not gonna lie. Like that whole week, I was like, I'm feeling down. I'm just gonna go watch us score that tie.
Just have it saved on I mean, it's your text tone, Lanzini.
Yeah.
So I guess let's fast forward or rewind, but fast forward to the Fulham game. So was you watching it with your watch group or was you...
Yeah. So is it supporters group? I guess that's what they call them.
Where do you guys meet up?
It's called Nick's Place. It's off of Westheimer Road here in Houston. It's a like Italian little bar, but it's pretty cool.
So you still got... Are you allowed into bars now?
Yeah. I mean, you got to wear the masks. We I play soccer with most of those guys now, anyways, on Saturday mornings. And so, like, since this was a 2 p.m. our time kickoff, Central Time, we had played a little pickup game that morning, and then everybody went back, changed, and came back, and so we were kind of just hanging out there. But that was cool. I enjoy, it's very rare you get the afternoon game as West Ham, but so we were all watching it there. We were all pretty disappointed. I may have bet the over, so I was expecting some goals and just didn't have. We had been scoring pretty well lately, and I thought that.
Well, because we beat, what was it, Wolves 4-0?
4-0.
3-0.
Like the offense had been there, and there was nobody that wasn't starting really that showed me why we shouldn't. And then West Ham just tends to play to their competition. You assume they're going to lose or get blown out, and then they go out and they beat a Wolves, or they hang with Liverpool, or they tie City or whatever it is, and then they just lay an egg against Fulham. I'm glad that they didn't lose. I really thought that we were only going to be able to get 1 point out of that. And then we probably should have only gotten 1 point after that horse shit fucking penalty they gave.
So what, was it Lookman? What do you think was going through his mind when he stepped up to that?
I'm going to chip it, I guess. But, he whiffed on it. And, you don't try a chip in that situation.
Minute.
Yeah, maybe if you're, in, the 50th minute. And it's just we might get a couple more chances. But that's it. You got to just bury that in the net, man. But I'm cool with it. I was fine with it.
I'm pretty sure he's never going to take another penalty for Fulham.
You think his key card worked? I haven't checked. Has he been able to check back into the Fulham facilities this week? Or did they just...
Well, the locks have been changed.
Yeah, they're actually, your card no longer works, sir. Please go home.
Oh, they just replace him with another guy called Lookman. Yep, sorry, you're out.
I mean, just Fulham, with that definitely... For as excited I've been about a bunch of draws we've had lately, like against City, against Tottenham, especially Tottenham felt like a win, even though it was a draw. I don't care,
Yeah.
whatever. We scored 12. We scored in like 12 minutes. We scored 3 goals. I was cool with that. But like that felt like a loss, even though it ended up being a draw, just because it probably should have been, and we just didn't play like it. We didn't play well.
What did you think about it? You didn't think we played well?
I mean, I thought we in stretches, but then there was just like we didn't connect on opportunities. It felt like we had like I think we only had like 5 shots in the first half, but it felt like we had 50 shots in the first half. We should have probably scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
Again, back to the over. We probably should have scored 3 goals, but it looked like they just weren't able to capitalize. And the offense, it looked like it was clicking against the bigger clubs, and just I don't know. They were like a step off when they needed to be.
Would you think that's the Antonio effect? Do you think him being missing is kind of screwing up?
It definitely helps.
Because Allaire is definitely a different striker than Antonio.
I kind of hate him.
He's kind of like, I guess, linking the two. He's almost like my Daniel Jones in that no matter what, I always no. He's gonna be good eventually.
Just no, wait for it. Yeah.
Next game.
Was it the bicycle kick against Watford last year? Because like I told you, I have a dumb brain. So Lanzini, I'm always like, he's gonna score because he did against Tottenham that one time, and that just happened. He hasn't done that ever before that. But like, he did that bicycle kick like the third match day 3 last year against Watford, and it was the most amazing. Like at that point, I was like, we're gonna probably win the league now. This is it. And I just convinced myself that's who Allaire. I didn't really think we were going to win the league, but I was jacked up. And I was like, this is Allaire. This is it. We got the right guy. Thank God we went out. Fuck you, Arnautovic. Like, we replaced you, and we were just not going to miss a beat. And then that was it. That was pretty much him for the rest of last season. And he went from, like, a signing like that you're assuming is going to start every single game. And the fact that
45 million for West Ham. Yeah. Expect that's going to be it.
The fact that he's still coming off the bench says a lot about probably what Moyes says about what Moyes thinks about him, and just
Moyes
honestly, one is work ethic and like probably how good he is.
The fact that which game was it that Antonio got injured? I can't remember who.
Was it City?
When Allaire, our only other striker, was on the bench, and they replaced Antonio with a midfielder, Yarmolenko.
That says a lot. Yeah, and. Like, yeah, no, like, what else do you need to know about the guy? Like, he's probably not the right fit. It sucks that we spent. Hey, you know what would have been cool? Maybe if there was like some young striker that had just played in the championship last year, like we had brought up and was gonna like play on the team, and like maybe we could have subbed him in. That would have been cool. But oh wait, no, we sold him to West Brom for like a nickel. Or however many pounds a nickel is. I don't know. I don't know the conversion rates.
What's a nickel? 5 cents? I'm still.
Yeah.
I'm still using centigrade to tell temperature. Fucked.
That's got to throw you off.
It's not to sidetrack, but the Celsius thing makes sense. It makes so much sense. Like 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling. Work it out in between.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. But, like, I love that, like, we don't do that here in America because it's just like, this is America. This is how we do it. Like, yeah, but the rest of the world does it that way. Yeah, fuck yeah, we're America. All right?
I think pretty much England's the only country still using Celsius. Or maybe
really?
Canada. I think Canada maybe, actually.
I thought Canada does. Yeah.
I think Canada does. Although, because we are extreme people, I guess, we like to brag. I do find that people, especially on the weather, if it's really cold, they'll use Celsius so they can say, it's minus 12 degrees.
Yeah.
But when it's hot, suddenly they'll switch to Fahrenheit. Oh, it's 96 degrees. They always like, I guess, the big extreme numbers.
Yeah. Or like in Texas, when you can hit the triple digits, you're like, yeah, it's 102.
I don't think maybe once or twice. Is that like a constant thing?
In the summer. It'll hit 100 pretty frequently. But it's usually in the 90s at least. You just get used to the 90s.
But I guess you have AC at your arsehole.
You do. Yeah. Like I know up there, a lot of people just like you go without the AC and you sacrifice that for the heat in the winter, which you definitely need more. But like here, it's like you got to have AC.
See, I guess in that temperature you would, but I'm not a big fan of the AC because I feel because your body just gets used to this comfortable coldness in my apartment. But then as soon as you step outside, the heat punches you in the face.
Right, but like also if it's like 100 degrees outside, it sucks. Like I've lived in an apartment with shitty ventilation and shitty insulation is what it was. And it was like it would be like 100 degrees and I would have the AC at like 60 and my apartment could only cool to 80 and it was just miserable. It was just miserable and like there's the humidity here in Texas where it's like 100% humidity a lot of days. So you just sweat the second you walk outside. Like when I was in college and I'd walk across campus, it was like sometimes you had to change shirts just because you'd sweat through one.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad. But you get used to it. You get used to it. And I call it's like conditioning, right? Like it's like being in the mountains in Colorado, but it's just you're just hot as balls all the time here. So in the event that I have to go run in like a volcano, I think I'll be okay.
It's a good skill to have. Put out on your resume.
You never know. Can't rule it out.
I mean, that's if you put that on your resume, that's got to guarantee at least an interview. Like, I want to find
just
more
to ask the question. Like,
yeah.
what happened? How did that happen? So a little life advice for everybody: just add that to your resume. It doesn't have to be true.
If you learn anything from this podcast, put that on your resume.
It's pretty educational, I would say.
But I guess we have to get back to West Ham.
Probably.
So that was a pretty. Because what was your reaction? Did you think when we scored in the 92nd minute? I'm assuming you thought that's it. We've wrapped it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We fucking won it.
Absolutely, but I also thought that official was kind of being a dick all day, and it seemed like we weren't getting anything going our way. So of course, I felt like I don't know. Do you feel like with the VAR lately, like even when we scored, I'm like, was that good? Were we good? Like I'm always nervous now, like to celebrate any goal because I just assume we were offsides.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that.
It's ruined that a little bit for me, but
it has to now be like a stupid goal like Lanzini where you're like, okay, that definitely they can't find anything wrong with that.
Right. And then they still might, who knows? But
because now they can pull it back. Oh, but 2 minutes before that there was a foul and it's like, Jesus.
Exactly. But I don't know. I felt like when that went down in the box, like it was a ticky-tack penalty to award, but I felt like that who was it? They got like just ninja kicked in the chest earlier and they didn't even like card the guy really on Fulham, and then they like allowed that to get away and we're like, no, we're gonna give you a penalty right at the end. And it was like, whatever, man. But I think ball don't lie is what they say in the NBA sometimes, and that was kind of the situation with us.
Yeah, that was a soft penalty. But I guess it was one of those that if it wasn't given, you'd be like, yeah, that's fair. But if it was, I guess technically it was a foul. But I'm just kind of getting, it wasn't as bad as Salah, but I'm just getting over that slight touch and they just go nuts and fly down.
Absolutely. And that makes it so much more difficult to decipher when you're looking back at the VAR.
But do you think they're just giving these kind of decisions just to justify their job?
I think so. Absolutely.
Because that guy is sitting.
I think, and like when something goes down in the box, it's easier to just lean penalty as opposed to anything else.
I would just love to find that guy who's like lazy as fuck, like just eating chips, watching Netflix, and every VAR. Nope, it's just eating a sleep. Nah, fuck it.
It's not it. Yeah,
nah, keep going.
That'd be great if you knew that guy and you were in on gambling. Like, you could get some unders going pretty strong. I bet. Just don't let anything go in. Don't let anything count.
So I mean, we've got the boring international window coming up now, which I fucking hate.
Do you pay attention to it? Like, do you watch like Bosnia Herzegovina against like Cyprus?
Only for the World Cup. Suddenly I get excited for like two countries I've barely heard of playing each other. I suddenly go nuts for that. But yeah, this UEFA Nations League is like, who gives a shit?
It's like Champions League, but like international, basically, is what they're trying to make it, right?
They're trying to make it, but
we got a lot of soccer going on already.
Because they're trying to make it out to be a major tournament, but basically the winner just qualifies for another major tournament, the European Championships.
Which the winner would probably have already qualified for anyways.
Exactly, like Portugal won it last year, but they already qualified. So it's like, and then so they have all of these weird rules to finally find someone who hasn't qualified. Just I don't know, it's fucking dumb as shit. But
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good for like guys to get experience on the international level, but it always throws me off that like we have 75 leagues basically. Between that's the one thing about soccer that I haven't gotten used to yet, where it's like, oh, there's also you have the FA Cup, but then that's different than what is it?
Carabao Cup.
The Carabao Cup, and then you also have your league games, but then for some teams, it's Champions League, and then Europa League is on Thursdays. It's like, how many fucking leagues we got going on? And then now let's just throw in an international league too.
There's another European one next year. Have you heard of that? The European Conference or some shit.
What is that?
So it's basically going to be now Champions League, Europa League, European Conference. So it's just for like
what West Ham can play for.
Probably not, because I think it's going to like the 6th or 7th place team, so maybe. But I think it's just for countries like Ukraine to get European football, I guess, or something.
Because like I've tried to watch some Europa games in the last like couple weeks.
They're horrible,
and it's just like, but I don't know that I can't even pronounce the team name. I don't know, like, is it an abbreviation I'm looking at? Like, who beat Man U? Like, it was like something Istanbul, but it was like somebody just punched their keyboard and it was like, that's the name of the club, Istanbul at the end. Go. And like, I get it. I don't speak that language, so like I'm being an asshole, but whatever. That's just like, I don't know. It's less entertaining if I can't pronounce the name of the club or I don't have any idea about like the history of it or whatever.
It's pretty tough to get a chant going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but European football aside, because I think that's a little while away for us. Like, how do you think, I guess, looking ahead, how far do you think West Ham's going to get this year? Because, I mean, they're looking good, but still, like the bubbles, they fade and die. How do you see the season panning out?
I mean, if you look at their upcoming schedule, like, honestly, I really am shocked that, like, City and who we had City before that, Tottenham, the draw against Tottenham. Like we went through our tough part. Like it was murderer's row for like a month. It looked like looking at the schedule in the beginning of the year. Like, okay, I mean, maybe if we could, we dropped the game against Newcastle to start. So we were already behind the 8 ball. And I was just like, I don't know how we're going to get any points out of these games. To come away out of the last 4 games with 5 points or however many points we got, I think maybe 4 points, 5 points, 5 points. We got 2 draws. Yeah, and a loss to Liverpool, and then the win last Sunday, or last Saturday. But like, I'm pretty happy at where we're sitting right now. It does, like I said, I feel like we do play to our competition, which doesn't bode well for Sheffield and then Villa. Like, I'm not buying Villa. Villa got off hot, but like they're frauds.
They're gonna finish like bottom half.
And like, fuck Jack Grealish. I hate him. I don't know why. If I had to pick a least favorite player in the Premier League, it's Jack Grealish.
He's the Premier League player that I'd most like to sneak up to while he's asleep and just like shave his head.
Oh, fuck him. Dude, I hate him.
Yeah.
Him and then Harry Kane, just because he looks like a Draco Malfoy wannabe.
And he looks like if you get too close, you're going to drown from dribble.
And he's just always like, he's got like resting bitch face, but for a dude.
And he's a little bit of a bitch. He's always bitching.
I mean, he plays for Tottenham, so like we know that, and then he always looks like he always looks like he just smelled something bad. It like smells bad. He's got that like look like dude, be happy. You scored 100 goals or whatever you just fucking mark you just hit.
Like 90 of them are penalties probably.
Like were you born in the UK?
I was indeed.
Okay, so you root for England. Is it kind of tough to root for England with like them being like 60% Tottenham? It feels like.
Yeah, I barely watch England at all.
Okay, because like if they win, you're like, cool, it's my country. If not, you're like, fuck Tottenham.
Yeah, so if they lose, it's fucking Tottenham's fault.
Right. I thought it makes it hard to root for them.
But yeah, it does. I mean, the last time I really watched was what tournament did we have last? What got moved? It was the World Cup last. Was it 2?
The men's World Cup? Yeah. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, because women's was 2. And then this was supposed to be Euro, right? This summer was supposed to be Euro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that got pushed back.
Damn COVID. But yeah, no, yeah, there's less and less. But the only thing that annoys me about England is that even before they announce the squad, you can already, who's in the fucking squad. Because it's like this, It's the most laziest coach ever, Gareth Southgate. He just picks the same fucking players every time, no matter how they play. It's just miserable. Like Harry Maguire, for some reason, is the first name on the team sheet. He's trash.
I mean, they have some great British names. You know, like Harry Maguire sounds like he would start for the English national team. So it's like I sort of get that, and I feel like maybe that's what he goes to as a default. He's like, does he sound English? Let's go with it.
Harry Maguire does sound like someone that would like mug an old granny.
Absolutely. And he might. Who knows? I don't know what he does in his spare time.
Not going to nightclubs anymore because he.
That's true. I guess they can't.
After he punched a. Did you see that? He punched a police officer or some shit.
Yeah, that's problematic.
It's never. That's life lesson number 2 from this podcast. Just avoid punching police officers. It never ends well.
That's pretty solid advice.
I hope people are writing this down.
Take notes, guys. There will be a quiz at the end.
So, I mean, do you get hyped about Team USA?
I try to. Like World Cup, I do, but then like last World Cup, we didn't have that.
The women's team because they're crushing it.
Women's team is cool. Like I just don't care as much. Like women's soccer is like I'm not knocking women's soccer; they're awesome. It's just like there's 3 teams in pretty much every tournament. I feel like that you're like, okay, yeah, it's probably going to be the U.S. women, and they're probably going to adopt. Like there was like they scored double-digit goals in like 2 of their group stage games, and it's like, where's the parity?
Who was it? Who they beat? Was it 13-1 or something?
Yeah, I don't remember. It was like Slovakia or somebody like that, where you're just like, all right, like thanks for coming out, guys.
It's got to be embarrassing. Like, I mean, it's nice to represent your country, I guess, but how would you feel representing your country after losing 13-1?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have that in the men's game. You have like Greece get in every now and then and just get smoked, but usually it's like 4-0, 4-0, 4-0, or whatever it is. It's not double digits.
No, there's a couple. Was it because Bosnia for a while was like one of those teams that Bosnia and Herzegovina or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, sounds right.
Those are always like the token teams in the top competition that would lose 8-0.
I do like Tyler Adams, who's on Team USA. Because my adopted Bundesliga team when COVID shut down everything was Red Bulls, just because I didn't want to have Bayern or Dortmund, and he's pretty good. And then I also played with him on FIFA, low key, signed him to West Ham, and we won a couple ships. So it's not to brag, but like I know his potential based off of FIFA.
So you should like write an email to like David Moyes or some shit.
I got an idea. I think he's too expensive for West Ham. West Ham's not going to shell out any money.
Well, how expensive is he?
How much
does he cost on FIFA?
I don't remember. I do not. It was like years ago that I did that. But like he replaced Noble. That was awesome. Rice was back as a defender for some reason because I didn't understand soccer.
Well, he can play defense in defense.
Yeah, we could do that a little bit of everything. But then who did we used to get? We had him on loan from Inter. And
João Mario,
yeah, he was like a stud on FIFA, and I was like, this guy, whatever West Ham's doing, they gotta sign this guy for a long-term thing, and then like they never brought him back, and I was like, okay, well, what do I know?
That was a strange phase West Ham went through. That first season in London Stadium,
that was like they barely avoided relegation that time too, right?
Yeah, and we had like what's his name, like Faguli. Do you remember that guy?
That was like half the team was on loan. I feel like by the end of the season,
it's West Ham do love a loan deal.
They do like that. They do.
Because Big Ben Rama he's on loan.
Benihana.
Benny what?
I like to call him Benihana.
Oh,
he's chopping up defenders. I don't know. I just made that up, but
we got Benihana. We got Rocky Balbuena.
Yep. By the end of this, we may have a nickname for everybody.
This is gonna be great. But
I want to ask you. Let me turn it around. So you live in Jersey. That makes sense that you'd be a Giants fan. But like, how did you just like? You're like, I live in the States now. I want to hop into American football and just see what that's all about. Because I feel like a lot of times the stigma is like British people just kind of like hate American football. They think it's like not cool. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I think American football is the coolest thing on earth.
Well, so back way back. So I used to have a job where I worked from like 4 until 11. So 4 p.m. until 11 p.m.
Okay.
So like almost like the opposite of what you're dealing with right now. My sleep schedule was all fucked. So I would normally be up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, sleep until 2, and then go to work. So I would always be watching like American sports that would air late night because it's sports and it's on when I'm awake.
Okay.
So I started watching. I never really had a team, but I was always watching. And then me and my dad would have this tradition of we would get excited for the Super Bowl, and then before the first quarter ended, he'd be asleep, snoring on the couch. So it'd just be me watching it. But then, so I started dating an American like 10 years ago now.
Oh, nice.
Which is the reason why I'm here. But at the time, she was just like, "Oh, do you like football?" I was like, "Yeah, it's good." Oh, you're a Giants fan. I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's good. You picked a good one then.
Well, yeah. So the first season where I was officially a Giants fan was the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl. That was like the first game I actually watched as a Giants fan.
And you're like, this is how it is all the time now. This is gonna be
fucking
great.
Awesome. Like, finally, a team that wins. I can get into this. And then
oh boy, did it go downhill.
Steadily downhill ever since. Like I think
that was a fucking awesome Super Bowl, though.
That was a fucking great Super Bowl. But okay. Here's my little pet peeve with I'm gonna say Americans, but it might just be New Yorkers, maybe, or New Jerseyans. But I mean, I can get to the whole why is the Super Bowl on a Sunday? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I mean, football's on a Sunday.
Yeah, but it's okay. Here's my thing. So
all right.
I'm in New Jersey. The Giants are in the Super Bowl. I'm like hyped. Okay, I'm at this party. We're watching the Super Bowl in New Jersey. Wow, this is amazing. Giants win. Who was it? Like Brady does that fucking Hail Mary throw.
Yeah, he missed. Was it Welker?
And the room goes nuts. Like, we won. And so I'm thinking, fucking hell, this party is about to turn up. Like, this is going to be amazing. And then, like, 5 minutes later, the room's empty. Oh, yeah, we've got work tomorrow. See you later. Bye. So,
yeah.
Is that it?
No, I mean, that does suck. But I think part of, like, being an American is being hungover the Monday after the Super Bowl at work. And, like, everybody knows you're going to get absolutely nothing done. But you're just like, yeah, about that game, though, dude. About that game.
I remember the Super Bowl, 3 years ago? Was it when did the Eagles?
That was the Eagles beating Brady, yeah, unfortunately.
So I remember the day after the Super Bowl was my first day at my first official, like, proper job in America. And so it was like all walking in, so it's like 30 of the new people coming in today, and you could just spot, like, they watched the Super Bowl last night. They watched the Super Bowl last night. So everyone's like walking around dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think for the Super Bowl, why can't they just switch it up to a
Saturday? It would make sense because college football's already over by that time. But I think it's just Super Bowl Sunday's already a thing. Maybe just give everybody Mondays off.
Or can they not start it earlier, maybe?
That would also be not a bad idea.
But then I guess the West Coast issue.
Dude, fuck the West Coast. It's not your fault. It's not my fault you live over there. You know?
And, like, is there any real decent teams in the West Coast? Like, all the real teams.
Rams, Seahawks.
I mean, they've got the best stadium, the Rams, I think.
It's a pretty sick stadium.
That's another thing about the goddamn Giants. I thought. So I saw MetLife, and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, it's great that we have one of these legendary old stadiums that we're still playing in. And then I find out it was built like 8 years ago.
Yeah. Well, Giant Stadium was kind of going to shit, I feel like. So, and Giant Stadium was like historic, but it's not historic. There's no Yankee Stadium.
Who designed MetLife? It looks horrible.
Some air conditioner company, apparently.
That's what it looks like.
It looks just like a giant air conditioner. But, dude, I mean, it's cool, right? I've never been, but it looks cool from the outside.
I've never went because it's like $5,000 for a ticket. But I might be lying about that. But when you're like, who designs a football? So the sport of football is played in the winter predominantly.
Mm-hmm.
Who designs a football stadium in the Northeast and doesn't think to put a roof on it?
Dude, no, roofs are for pussies, man. This is America. We don't need roofs on our stuff. That's what, like, is there anything better than watching these dudes that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars go out? You're like, yeah, motherfucker, run in the mud. Let's go. Earn that money. Like, I love that. That's my favorite. Like, a snow game.
Oh yeah,
When you see
that
that,
is
you're like, dude,
impressive.
look at these millionaires just getting tackled into the mud, into the snow. Like, earn that. Earn that.
That's gotta like imagine being like sacked in the snow. That's gotta hurt like a bitch.
But now, like, I think I know the Patriots field has like heating coils under the turf and stuff. So it's not like they're really in the elements really anymore. I mean, there's only a few fields that actually have real turf, like real grass and not just field turf anymore. Although I don't know which is safer because FedEx Field just it eats legs too.
Yeah, if it's freezing cold, I imagine AstroTurf does not feel good on
Probably
the skin.
not. Probably
No,
not.
I know
I
you
guess
mean
you
like
cushion it though. I don't know.
the classic look is like a white field where they've had to like dig out the lines. That does look cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's just getting me pumped up just even thinking about it right now. I'm ready for like winter football.
Who does? I think who's like the last remaining team that doesn't have a roof in those kind of areas? Does Green Bay have?
Green Bay doesn't. Green Bay definitely does not. I don't think Chicago doesn't.
I know the Vikings have got a roof now, right?
Vikings do, but they used to play at University of Minnesota for a while, which didn't.
Wasn't that
Cleveland
didn't
doesn't?
they have the old stadium that the roof
It collapsed. Yeah, and then the Giants had to play on Monday night that game because it was the Metrodome that collapsed. Hubert H. Humphrey, he lost an election, and we were talking on my podcast last week about like how people that lose the election most of the time, like if you never were president before that, you're like, I have no idea who that fucking guy is. Like Barry Goldwater, who the fuck is that? But apparently lost the presidential election, and Hubert H. Humphrey lost like 2, I think. But I only know who Hubert H. Humphrey is because they named a Metrodome after him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy that invented the Vikings facility, which he didn't invent that, but he did other stuff. They just named it after him.
If you lose an election, why would you put yourself through a second one? Maybe that's why they named it after him, because he's a trier.
I think you gotta be a little psycho to run for that stuff, anyways.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's like so. Like half of people hate you, anyways. Like,
and people.
I do want all the secrets.
Everything. Right,
I do want all the secrets. Really, there can't like you can't like. There's nothing that you can't get dug up now.
Except where the aliens are, like where they're.
Well, no, but I'm saying like as the president, like people can dig up whatever they want on you, and like you could still probably get elected if our last dude did. But
true. I mean, even if you're semi-famous, someone just pulls up your tweets from 5 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything I've had to like seriously delete or anything, but it's like I've definitely had to like scour Twitter and like make sure there's nothing. Like I don't think like I believe me, I've checked. Like there's nothing. So if you guys want to go fact check it and get me in trouble or whatever, you can't. But like there's like I've searched all that shit on Twitter where it's just like I don't ever want anybody to be able to dig up anything. Like that's terrible. And I think it's stupid where you have like Josh Allen as like quoted a rap song in middle school and then gets drafted in the NFL. And like that night, they're like, oh, look at what he tweeted. Look at what he tweeted 2008. It's like, yeah, dude, who gives a shit? He was a fucking kid, man. I don't think he still feels that way. A lot of people don't feel the same way they felt in high school.
Like, I totally agree with what you're saying. But on the other thing, I was like, sure, okay, someone within his proximity must think, okay, this dude's about to get drafted. He's about to earn
I 100%.
Millions.
They got to do
before that
damage
happens,
control.
Let's fucking check this shit out. Like, why would you not check that?
Because he's a kid that was, I don't know, he was a college kid that was about to get drafted. You don't have the people around you maybe at that point.
I don't know.
Went to Wyoming. I don't know if Wyoming's PR department is as good as like Florida's or LSU's.
I mean,
they're probably like, we have a draft pick? Okay. Well, hell. This is awesome.
They don't give a shit.
Come on in from the rodeo, guys. Let's go.
Where's your dog Skeeter? that's whenever anyone's asked me, can you do it? Because everyone, even now, 4 years in to living in America, I still get the people who comes up to me. Oh, you're English, are you? Oh my God, that's like trying.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah, that's what I get, like the Paul Rudd shit. Oh, I do love that quote. It's a great movie, that is.
Do your like best American accent?
So that's what. Whenever anyone asks me to do an American accent, all the things I can do is like, Hey, my name's John, and I married my cousin, and I live in a double wide with my dog Skeeter.
That's not terrible.
That's all I
Not
can.
terrible.
I'm pretty sure that's offensive, but I don't give a fuck.
You know, like Russell Brand has like the best, like my favorite, like mocking American accent. Where like, I love like you can still hear his British accent in it, but like you can tell he's like I love that. That's my favorite. Or like when a black comedian does white voice, like I love that. That's always funny to me, and I think it's hilarious to me that people get mad about it. He's like, dude, no, that's funny. Like we do sound like that.
Especially
But I don't know. But Russell Brand's got a really good one. He's also a West Ham fan, so that's another reason I like him.
he is. I've tried to. I've actually met him.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Let's see if I can pull this up. So the people who are listening to this is going to be really boring.
This is what we call bad radio. It's a segment that we're going to start right now where we do things that you won't be as entertained with. But just if you close your eyes, hopefully you're not driving. You're going to really just imagine right now. Mike's looking through his phone. And he is scouring. He's got sweat beating down his forehead right now because he's under pressure at this point. He knows the pressure is mounting, and he found it. And there he goes. And now we're looking at him and Russell Brand. It's pretty awesome. How'd you meet him?
Well, we grew up in the same town.
In Essex.
In Essex. Yes, in Grays, Essex. So he was like, I was just working.
Is it creepy that I know that much about Russell Brand? Like I know where he's from.
I'm impressed.
I read his book. I read my bookie book.
I haven't. So there you go.
So
you've already got one extra.
I was like obsessed with him after Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I was like, who is this guy and how would I not know who he is? And then I was like, he's pretty great.
What did you think of Getting to the Greek?
Not as good, but still good.
I think
if you liked Forgetting Sarah Marshall, like Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of my like top two. If I could only have two movies to watch for the rest of my life, it would be that and I Love You, Man. Like I would be fine with that. And like Forgetting Sarah Marshall is so good that like if you love Aldous Snow, if you love the character, if you love Jonah Hill, like I was like, okay, I'm here for another show. It's not the same thing, but I'm down to watch that.
Because all of those movies kind of merge. Like they could, as far as I'm aware, could be in the same universe. Like
the Judd Apatow kind of, yeah, basically the same.
Which one is it? Is it This Is 40? Is that the spin-off to I Love You, Man, or is that a spin-off from another movie? I can't.
Was it Knocked Up?
Knocked Up, yes, that's.
I think so. And I like Judd Apatow; he's awesome, and so like I'm a sucker for all those movies. And then Russell Brand, like never had an idea who he was, and that was the year like he blew up because remember he did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and then he hosted the MTV Awards, and everybody's like, "This guy is offensive and he's mean. Why is he doing this?" And who was it? It was Jordan Sparks, whose dad, Felipe Sparks, won a Super Bowl with the Giants. But she like was talking shit. He was like, Jordan Sparks, who I believe won a talent contest, tried to go out and call me out, and then just like dragged her. And everybody's like, how would you drag Jordan Sparks? And now like, who the fuck is Jordan Sparks now? And everybody knows who Russell Brand is, right? And then I think he did it like back-to-back years.
How could she kind of took off. Air?
That's true.
That's all I know about that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another one. I don't know anything else, but yeah. I don't know. Russell Brand, I don't know how we got onto that. You met Russell Brand. That's how. He's a West Ham fan. He's a West Ham fan, which has to do with this podcast. So boom, on topic.
We're back in the room.
On topic.
Okay, so let's switch this shit up. Let's talk about them damn Giants.
Oh, hey, you mean probably the potential future NFC East champ, New York Giants. I've sold myself, Mike. I'm ready, as Michael Scott would say, I'm ready to get hurt again. I am buying into this Eagles game. Do you love Joe Judge? Let's start off with Joe Judge. I love Joe Judge.
I love Joe Judge.
I'm in love with Joe Judge. And I've never had a like 1-7 coach that made me want to run through a wall he had one win for the majority of the season. It's like I shouldn't buy into anything he's saying, but every time I'm like, yeah, he's fucking got this. Well, like I want to do it.
Even like most of those games, we lost by like
4 one-score games.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
And
so it's not. I think
the players seem like they're playing for him, which is you have to have guys buy in, and they seem like they've bought in. We just don't have the talent there just yet.
But we definitely don't. But
they haven't developed yet, or we don't have all the pieces. Because we also don't have Saquon this year. So.
I think at the end of it, we deserve the record because if you lose, you lose. But I think that what are we now 2-7.
2-7.
I think
game and a half out of first.
It doesn't do us justice. I think we are playing way, way, way better than a 2-17. If that makes sense.
Definitely. And I mean, I think we should have won the Dallas game.
Yes.
We should have won the Tampa game.
We should have won the Eagles.
We should have won the Eagles game. Fuck you, Evan Ingram. Like, not that like looking at that though, it's 5 wins. It's a 5-win team at this point. I think people are talking a little bit differently about the Giants are at the Bears at this point at that time. And I think the Giants, even though we lost the Bears, I feel like if we had them again this time, like our offensive line took a little bit to get used to each other. We've had some injuries. We've had some movement in the offensive line. They didn't have a preseason to get gelling. Like, I think, like, Wayne Gallman, why is Wayne Gallman running so well lately? Like, why do we not run with Wayne Gallman all the time? That's my big beef. Like, Alfred Morris looked okay against.
I thought he played really well.
But, like, before that, it's like Wayne Gallman's the hot hand, and then you, like, sit him for a series. Like, no, let him run. He was averaging, like, 5 yards a carry against Tampa, and they just sat him after a little bit. And it was like, you go with the guy that's crushing it, and they pulled him out. I don't know. I think Joe Judge is awesome. I think the guys are buying into it, and I really, like, I think he's the guy. I know it's the first season. We haven't done shit, but, like, I think he's the guy. He makes it seem like if this team is going to go in a direction, like, they seem like they like him. They seem like they're playing for him. I loved what he did with Golden Tate last week, where he's just like, oh, you want to talk shit about the team? Well, go home, bitch. Like, you're going to play on practice squad. He was playing Terry McLaurin in practice squad for the whole week after he came back. And then they were like, oh, also, we're going to deactivate you before the game. So don't worry about suiting up. You can
wasn't even wasn't his wife talking?
It was his wife, but then he backed it up, which is like, I get it. You got to stand by your girl, but, like, bad luck when you're doing that to your coach. So
just do it to his face.
And I love that he wanted the trade. They wouldn't trade him. So now he's stuck on a bad team right now, bad future division champion team. But he's stuck on a 2-7 team right now instead of getting to go somewhere where he can win a ring on his way out and championship chase. And it's like, no, you're going to buy in, or we're not going to have to do it. We're not going to have anything to do with you. And I think that that's a big part. Like, you got to weed out the bad apples. You got to get rid of the guys that aren't going to buy in. And if Golden Tate's not going to buy in, like, fuck him. He's out. Let's bring in the guys that do buy in. I think Sterling Shepard looks like he's buying in. Darius Slayton absolutely is buying in. Like, just let's go with this squad. Let's get the guys that care. Let's see the guys that want to play. And kind of being not a great team this year so far shows you the guys that are trying to play, that want something as a future, not just collecting a paycheck. And I think that's a big deal, is separating the guys that are just there for a paycheck and then the guys that really want to play. And that, I don't know, that's what I love about Joe Judge that I feel like Pat Shurmur never brought. Yep. Like, I liked Ben McAdoo for the 1 year that he fool's golded us, but, like, that he wasn't really, like, he got everybody to buy in for a year, and by the end of that, like, it was over with. And I don't know. I think Joe Judge is the guy. And I've also decided that, like, after hating them and loving them and hating them and loving them, this week I'm going all in. Just buying in. I bet a futures bet on the Giants to win the division. And, like, if we lose to Philly, I'm out. I'm checking out. I get it. I'll accept reality. But, like, until then, I'm going to speak it into existence. We're going to beat Philly. We're going to, like, we got Philly. We got the Bengals.
Well, we still got to play the Eagles. We've still got to play the Cowboys. So then
Cowboys last game of the season. We do have a pretty rough stretch where we got, like, Cardinals, Seahawks. That's not, like, Cardinals, Seahawks, Ravens, I think, at the end. That doesn't sound great. But you sneak one of those games out, we get to 6 wins maybe. 6 wins wins the NFC East possibly, depending on how things go. We got to beat Philly.
Yeah.
We got to beat Dallas at the end. And then I think
if we can get maybe 2 wins at the remaining 5, I think we could. I definitely think it's not unreasonable to think the Giants can win the NFC East.
And I understand people listening to this and they think we are 2 insane people talking, but believe, like, I'm cool being that right now. I'm cool just, like, being Charlie Day from Always Sunny, looking at the conspiracy theories and the string and all of that. Like, I'm cool being that guy.
Yeah.
For 1 more week, just, like, do it. And then if we hit it and we win, I'll be like, I called it. I knew it. I knew I trust my team. But if not, I'm like, whatever, I'm out. Who cares? We have, like, a draft pick that's going to be high anyway, so whatever. And I don't want to play for draft picks. Fuck draft picks. You know,
that annoys me. When you play, like,
you draft where you draft. You play to prove points. You play to fuck up people's schedules. You play to fuck up seeding if you're out of it. You play to see who can win. Play to see who can win. And I think we got some winners. I'm buying in on Danny Dimes. I love Danny Dimes. I didn't want to draft Danny Dimes. I said just anybody but Drew Lock or Daniel Jones. I loved Eli. Like, Eli is my boy. He will always be my favorite Giant. But, like, I wanted Justin Herbert. But he went back to school. Now look at Justin Herbert. I'm an oracle. I knew he was going to be good. But Daniel Jones came out, so we drafted him. I thought it was a little early that we drafted Daniel Jones because you could have got him later on in the same round. And yeah, he had some rookie mistakes. He's got some turnover problems, but he's fixing that. And I think that he has not had a turnover in 100% of his last game. So that's a streak. That's a streak.
He's on a hot streak right now.
He's on a very hot streak. This is the hottest Daniel Jones has been all year.
Wasn't it like an average of like 2 or 3 a game for the rest of
it? It's like 2 turnovers a game, yeah.
And like I don't count playing Washington because that's just like.
Well, he's 4-0 against Washington. You watch out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's an automatic. That's an automatic good performance, a win against
4-0 against Washington, 1-16 against everybody else.
That's a hell of a stat.
It is.
Who was the other team we beat?
The Bucs. His first start. Remember, they were down 14 points. Yes. Saquon got hurt, and he was like, "Fuck you, Tampa." Just let him down the field and got the win.
I remember
that was when I was like, Daniel Jones is the future of the NFL. And then we lost a bunch of games after that. But I don't care because at one point I convinced myself. And ever since then, I'm going to buy in on him. I didn't want to get him as our quarterback, but he's our guy. And it's like, you got to dance with the one you got now. Like, this is my guy now. I got to buy in.
Yeah, I never understood.
Rooting for him to fail is the worst. Like, that guy.
I never understood people
get out.
Complaining months after. It's like, it happened. Like, what do you.
This is year 2. If this is year 4, I totally get it. This is year 2. You make mistakes. You don't it usually takes you 2 years to probably kind of figure out if you're going to fit into the NFL. And we've not had an offensive line for 3/4 of the time he's been the starter.
I mean, he's definitely improved. I will definitely give him that. I just think personally, I'm bought in because, hey, at the end of the day, he's my quarterback. So I'm positively thinking every game. But overall, I guess the jury's still out for me personally. But I definitely hope he does well. I definitely hope because I can't understand people rooting for your team to lose so you get a.
Do you want us to draft again? Like, we get Trevor Lawrence. No, we're not going to have the first pick. We're not the Jets. The Jets are going to have the first pick. The Jets are going to have the first pick. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence. Trey Lance? No, I don't want that guy. No. No, thank you. Justin Fields, I don't buy into it. I don't want that. Ohio State quarterbacks, I don't trust. I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't trust USC quarterbacks. Those are my 2 bugaboos. From those schools, no thank you.
What's wrong with those schools?
The quarterbacks kind of end up being busts.
Who
is an Ohio State quarterback that is a starter in the NFL? There's probably one right now, but I can't think of it. I don't think so, actually. And then USC, you have Sam Darnold, but like before that, you had Sanchez. I guess Palmer was pretty good.
He's doing well.
I think Sam Darnold is better if he's on he's obviously better if he's on a different team, but like we're probably going to get to see that next year.
He kind of looks like the Harry Kane of the NFL, where he's just kind of not there. He's not all there.
He's looking at ghosts. He sees ghosts on the sidelines, I think. But what if, now hear me out, crazy conspiracy theory, Sam Darnold, Jets draft Trevor Lawrence, they got to get rid of Sam Darnold. Patriots, Sam Darnold turns into a stud.
Do you think that would happen?
I don't know, but that'd be crazy. I think he's good. I think he's in it. It's like Ryan Tannehill. It's like maybe he was just in the wrong spot.
I mean,
maybe just need a lot of quarterbacks just get wasted away like in the wrong situation. And it's
what's the Patriots what's their situation? Did they sign Newton to like
it's a 1-year deal. It's a 1-year deal. So he's done after this, I would assume.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
And Stidham, you would have started Stidham if Stidham was the guy. If they may draft somebody, that makes sense. But also, like, that would be very Belichick-y to be like, no, I'm just going to go with a guy I know. This guy looks pretty good. I'm just going to go with him. And then, like, also, it's a fuck you to the Jets to, like, just, like, fuck them over twice with their old quarterback 2 times a year. Like, that'd be also other level Belichick. And you know that's, like, what's going through his mind.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. If Cam Newton's gone end of this year, I could see that happening.
I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just like, that's my crazy conspiracy
I could definitely see Cam Newton
Cam Newton definitely isn't coming back. I don't think, unless he like goes off in the next like rest of the season. But
did you watch the game last night?
He wasn't. I mean, he ran for 2 touchdowns, and he was fairly accurate in the beginning. He's just not. He's throwing a lot of short dink and dunk passes. That's like I don't trust him to throw the deep ball really anymore.
I just think when you're struggling that bad to beat an 0-8 team, it's just not a good look.
It's definitely not.
Because I mean, I only watched I watched the fourth quarter. That's all I watched, and it just looked from their body language that the Jets were just desperately trying to lose that game.
Well, the Pats also have like 8 guys in their defense. I feel like that opted out. Like this is going to be a throw. Like what I like about the Giants being like on the cusp of being like a borderline in the discussion for a shitty division championship, and like also they could be bad. I'm just like, dude, fuck it. It's a COVID season. This doesn't count. I don't count this. Whatever. No. It's like in every other, like in hockey and in basketball, like the Rockets didn't win. The Red Wings didn't even make the thing. So I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, not my team. This isn't a legit championship. I don't care. Fuck you, Dodgers. Lakers, I don't count. I'm not counting that one.
Devils winning it. Fuck the
NFL. Yeah, Devils. That doesn't count.
Did you see the rumor that's coming out today about the Devils? So apparently, this is just a rumor, but apparently, so Adidas have announced that they're doing some like reverse retro jerseys for next year. And apparently they've gone with, so apparently the Devils are going to be playing in a green jersey next year.
Oh, the green and red?
Yeah, but apparently it's supposed to be like as a nod to marijuana now being legal in New Jersey.
Oh, that's kind of tight.
They're going to be playing in green.
That'd be cool if like the little the tail at the end, they just made a little marijuana leaf instead. That would be cool.
Or just fucking just put it in the background with the NJ and.
Yeah, I'm a big jersey guy. My girlfriend sometimes makes fun of me that it's like football fashion, but I'm like, I get obsessed over like, oh, the Giants are going with the throwbacks. That's sick. Like we do have some of the sickest throwbacks in the league, but like I'm really into jerseys.
Yeah, what was it? That all white, clean white one when we had
white on white. I like it. I like the old school logo, but I do like the NY more. Still an NY guy.
Do you buy the jerseys?
I don't anymore. Ever since I am older than the players, I have stopped. That was my rule. I was like, when I am older, unless it's like a kid of yours or whatever, and like I don't judge. Just my personal thing. I don't take baseball gloves to baseball games as an adult. I don't wear jerseys to people that are younger than me.
Oh yeah,
each their own, but those are my things for me personally.
Definitely, but at least beyond getting names on my jerseys.
That's the best thing about buying like a West Ham jersey. You can just get a blank jersey. I love that.
Can you not do that with football jerseys?
I'm sure you probably could, but like I haven't really seen any like that.
But I went through when I was younger, I went through like a phase, I guess, of being the most bad luck person ever. Because as soon as I'd get a player's name on my shirt, they would be gone within 6 months, or they would like controversially leave, so everyone hates them. So I was pulling out all my shirts before I left England. Oh, what retro shirts can I take to America? And every one of them's like, can't wear that again.
Not there.
Can't wear that again.
Yeah, I for Halloween in high school one year, I was sold that Sonoris Moss was going to be like better than his brother at like receiver for the Giants, and then he never did anything. And I was like, why do I have an 83 Giants jersey? Like this was a waste. Like that memory just came out from like an old Halloween party on Facebook, and I was like, that was a bad bet. It's a bad. I also bought in heavy on Ramses Barden. Ramses Barden, like, it was a year after we won the first Super Bowl. He was like 6'7". He was just a giant receiver, and I was like, I don't know, this guy's really tall. He's probably gonna be like the next Plax. And then no, he never ended up mounting anything. So sometimes you swing and you miss, but as long as you hit on some.
Aren't they like also like $200 or some shit like for a jersey?
Yeah, I always would buy like the bootlegged ones, like the ones in China where it's like pretty much the same thing.
Just fry it from someone's back of their car. Like,
it'd be like $60, but it takes like 4 months to get in. They put on like a cargo ship.
By the time you got the jersey, the player's already left.
Oh, it's like, yeah, they've already retired. Like, well, we put it on a cargo ship, but it had 37 stops all around the world first. So, whatever. It was $60.
Maybe I have to look into that.
But
in a
yeah,
dark way.
what do you think about the Giants this year, man? How do you think? Like, do you legit think we got a shot?
Absolutely.
Good.
I think because
Good.
so
This is
the
positive vibes only this week.
because the only difference being the last couple of seasons, watching the Giants made me angry, whereas this season it's frustrating.
It's made me angry.
But it's not like it's a different kind of angry, I guess, where it's like, oh, we could have won that game, or we could have done better. Whereas before, it's just kind of like, we are trash.
I have never I don't know. I got mad. I've been like super mad at certain Giants players before. Jason Sehorn towards the end, I was really pissed with. But it was all time anger I had at Evan Ingram in that Eagles game. Like I
was shocked he caught a ball.
Oh my God.
For a touchdown as
no,
well,
but like, dude, fuck you, Evan. He had like 3 drops. He had a couple of penalties that caused us to like go back and kill drives. Like he fucked up enough to where he better have fucking caught that touchdown pass.
Even last game, they did a slow motion of it where the ball literally goes through his hands and just smashes him in the face. It's like, how the fuck did you not catch that?
Dude, you get paid to do this, man.
That's your job.
Like just do it.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball, bro. He's not going to be on the team next year. I don't think. But I mean, he's got a lot of talent. He just doesn't ever like at this time. Like it's like, dude, you got the drops. You're not as good as we thought you were, and you can't block a lot of times too. That also is problematic. But I like the Philly game and the Dallas game really got to me. I know that they're rivals, but like those losses really hurt because we should have won both of those games for sure. But I think also looking at Philly this week, like what have we lost? Like 8 in a row to them now, 9 in a row to them. Like we're due.
Yeah, dude.
And you always wanna bet on the team that's due. I think maybe this is where we're like, fuck you, Philly. We got a shot. And we punch through. They have some guys that are getting healthy. So maybe we play up to that. Maybe Danny's feeling a little confident after having a good game. Maybe the defense with, was it 5 takeaways last week? We had a bunch. Maybe defense comes through, fucks up Carson and Jalen Hurts. And, if you're a quarterback against the Giants, we have killed Dak Prescott's ankle. We've also killed Kyle Allen's ankle. Like, dangerous. You got to think, like, is this going to be my last drop back of the season? So that's always going through everybody. Like, Alex Smith was hearing footsteps. Rightfully so, because Alex Smith probably got PTSD. But, yeah, Carson Wentz, maybe he's going to hear some footsteps.
I wouldn't like to be him.
Please let us win this game.
Because I honestly, I think if we
could
get to 6 games, I think we could potentially win it. And then the reason it gets exciting is because the playoffs, that's just win one game. That's all we got to do is win one game at a time to progress. Am I saying I don't think we're going to get in the Super Bowl? No, but
you got to get in. You got to get in. And then you got a seat at the table, and you never know what's going to happen. Because both times we've won the Super Bowl, the last time we weren't really supposed to win the Super Bowl, and we fucked some shit up. You want to be that hot team that gets in. Giants are good at that.
We can.
Okay, our schedule, the rest of the way. We've played 9 games. We got Eagles, bye week, Bengals. We got to get 2 wins right there, okay? So then we're at 4. Seahawks, probably lost. Cardinals, probably lost. Browns, do you squeeze out a win? Maybe. That's going to be our maybe game, all right? So we'll pretend we get that one. That's 5. Ravens, probably a loss, although Ravens might not have a lot to play for. So last week of the season, maybe the Ravens have already locked it up. They want to rest a couple guys. We sneak out a win. That's 6.
Yeah.
Cowboys, week 17. You beat the Cowboys. That's 7 wins. You're a 7-9 team. 7-9 teams have gotten into the playoffs before.
Especially the way the NFC East is
going. The NFC East, what is the best? Like, the Eagles aren't going to be 10 wins.
No, because the Eagles, 3 and...
But they do have the tie that could really fuck us, but it could also fuck them. See, that's what I don't like about ties. Like, until the end of the season, I don't know if it's going to fuck me over. It's like, if we have more losses than that, then that hurts us. But also, if we have more wins, that's better for us. So just what if we just won the rest of them? That would, if I was Joe Judge, I'd be like, we're just going to win all the rest of the games on our schedule.
Yeah.
I would say, you know what? This is my guarantee, guys. You can write it down. If the Giants win 100% of their remaining games, I'm going to say they probably make the playoffs. Just a hunch. Just a hunch.
Lock of the week.
And you can take that to the bank. If they win out, they're probably gonna make the playoffs. If they don't, they might not. They probably won't.
Take it to the giant Czech division.
But yeah, I think the Eagles, we match up well against the Eagles. We already should have beat them.
That's it.
They got to be thinking about that. If I'm Joe Judge, we run that game all week. Rerun that game all week and just make them walk into the facility watching them lose. Rerun that Evan Ingram play in his locker all the time. Make him watch it over and over. Be like, if you do this again, we'll kill you.
Your ankle's next,
that.
Evan.
Tell him that. Yeah. I think we can do it. I think we're going to win. We're going to win. I'm just going to speak it into existence. We're going to beat the Eagles. We're going to go out there. We're going to beat them. Maybe not by a lot, but we'll beat them. Because the Giants don't know how to win by a lot.
No.
And when they do take a lead, they're like, should we fuck it up? Like, it's every single time. Them and West Ham are like, we're ahead. Do we want to be ahead? Should we fuck it up?
Let's just have all 10 players behind the ball. Yeah.
Do you want to get like 6 penalties in a row? Let's do that. Also, let's just kill this next offensive drive. Fuck it. Who cares? Let's punt from far back in our own end zone. Like, let's do that. Oh, okay. Do you want to just give up a big play? Cool. All right. Well, now they've got enough time to come back. Let's make it worry. Let's make us worry.
What was that? Was that the Bucks game where we was like,
we were up 10 points against the Bucks.
It was like 4 minutes ago
against the Eagles. We're like, the Chargers are the biggest chokers in the league this year. We're close. And against Washington, we tried because we stalled on that last drive. And then if Logan Ryan doesn't have that pick, I don't know what happens. I was honestly just we're probably going to lose this game.
And it's like we help them. It's not like they again. It's like, I think it was against the Bucks where it was like, oh my God, he's done a long throw. He might not catch it. Let's do a quick pass interference. Come on, let's just make penalties for fucking no reason.
And it feels like I like what Jason Garrett's done lately, but the Giants rely so much on these dumb checkdowns on like 3rd down and 8. You throw it 4 yards, and the guy doesn't always get back. It's like, dude, if it's 3rd and 8, you throw it past the 8-yard marker. Like you've got to get the first down. You don't want to just have to rely on everybody getting juked out. I understand if it's 3rd and 15, you're probably going to go with the screen to try and make something happen. But you can't just go to the little checkdowns like they've been doing so much, and it hampers them. And then, Sterling Shepard can juke somebody out every now and then. Austin Mack, I don't know where he came from, but he's awesome. Like you can have a couple of those where you get lucky, but more times than not, it's going to just end you with stalling on the 3rd down, and then you're going to have to punt again. So I think they need to be they've been a little bit too conservative at key times where I feel like you're kind of down there. Although they did go for it on 4th down and they didn't get it, but like, I like the ball. Like I respect the balls. If you go for it and you don't get it, unless it's like on your own 30, like do it. Fuck it, dude. You're a 2-win team. Send a message.
We've definitely shown more balls, and we do love balls.
But it's all this podcast is really about.
But I think he's made some questionable decisions sometimes, Garrett. But I think definitely the offense has definitely vastly improved since we had him on board.
Right. And I mean, I think it goes back to like, if he can just focus on one thing as opposed to having to run a whole team, that's like, he's probably better suited as an offensive coordinator. I mean, although he was a decent coach for a long time, but he's more of an offensive coordinator.
What's your opinion on Barkley? Do you think he's hype, or do you think we're missing him? Do you think he's going to be suddenly a revelation when he comes back?
Oh, Barkley is my boy. Barkley is my guy. He's awesome. Barkley is probably the best running back in the league when he's healthy. I mean, we've like his whole career. Every time, like when he's healthy, just good luck tackling those tree trunks. Like, I love him. He's got the greatest thighs in the league. That's just hands down, like best thighs in the league for sure.
He'll keep you warm in the winter.
And his injuries have been like not like. I don't think he's injury prone. Like he had an ankle injury when a guy like rolled over on him. Like they're just kind of like unfortunate happenings. I don't think they're just like, he's not like Ben Roethlisberger where he just goes down anytime he gets tackled. Although Ben Roethlisberger's a warrior and shit, but like Ben Roethlisberger is hurt a lot, or he's limping a lot, or he's always in a walking boot, or he's always in a cast or something after the game where you're like, what happened? Why did he go in the locker room earlier this week? I was like, why is Mason Ramsey in? Mason Rudolph. Mason Ramsey is the kid that's staying in Walmart.
Is there some negative energy about Ben Roethlisberger? Like, has he had some shady past? Because I don't know what it is. As soon as I see his face, I just get angry.
There was some He allegedly may or may not have assaulted someone at one point in time, and his buddy blocked a bathroom door while she was in there. But I was not there, so who am I to, I don't like throwing accusations around, but there were rumors. There were rumors.
But I'm pretty sure he's not the only one in the NFL who's been accused of that, though.
Right, but I don't know. It's not my spot. It's not my spot, and that's a serious accusation. So, like,
Allegedly.
and that's how we get away with everything.
Let's just get your lawyers. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on, then. Let's do a final prediction. How do you think Giants-Eagles going to go? Because that's the only game we've got to look forward to next week. Because
West Ham can't lose. West Ham can't lose, so that's a positive, though.
That is positive.
I'm just going to say we go out and we get it. 27-23 Giants. 27-23 Giants. Danny has another good game. Wayne Gallman gets it up. Defense comes through. I think we win 27-23, which is fairly high scoring for what we've seen the Giants do lately. But I think maybe the offense is kind of figuring it out. Maybe we're ready. And I think we're going to be a little bit pissed off against Philly this time as opposed to last time where we just kind of threw that game away.
I think it's going to be it's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be a frustrating game. I think we're going to get into like their scoring opportunities and then have to settle for a lot of field goals. I don't know. I think we're going to win, but I think it's going to be a frustrating win. Maybe
I'll take it. I don't care if it's frustrating.
I'll take it.
Just give us the dub.
Like maybe because that defense been holding up strong.
They got to be hyped up from that last performance, even if it was against Washington. Like they ended that game on a good note. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's pick off Wentz. Let's fuck them up.
I'm gonna go 16-10 Giants.
16-10. All right, I'll take that. Graham Gano hasn't missed a field goal yet, knock on wood, but he's been pretty solid all season. And then what was our dude last year? Who was our fucking kicker? He was awesome, but then he got a DUI or whatever, wasn't it?
Oh,
I can't believe that I can't remember his name.
Wait, was that a kicker or was that our third quarterback who got the DUI?
It may have been both.
Maybe, because I'm pretty... who was... Oh, it's going to annoy me now.
I think it was... Who was the Giants kicker last year? I'm looking it up now.
So for those listening, Alex is now typing into Google.
That's not... Aldrich Rosas. How did I fucking not know that? I knew that name. Aldrich Rosas was him, and he got
Rosas. Yes, I remember that guy. I remember him being trash.
He was kind of towards the end of last year, but there was a point where he was like super hot and he was kicking everything right, and that's always good to have. The Giants have tended to have some iffy kickers in the past, but I feel like Graham Gano seems like he's a good dude.
So far, so good.
If he doesn't miss, then he's continuing to be a good dude. He won't miss this week. He'll crush it, and Giants are going to beat the Eagles, and then we're going to win the division. And then we'll talk about the playoffs when we get in the playoffs, for sure.
Bring that trophy back.
Exactly. That would be fucking sick.
Because that would be a Giants thing to do.
It would be the most Giants thing ever.
A losing season Super Bowl champions.
And then also, I love Eli. Eli's always going to be my guy. But, Eli is also the best troll quarterback of all time because anytime people try and shit on me, I know he's got 2 championships. Aaron Rodgers has 1. How many's Dak got? That was the best. Anytime anybody brought up
Brady may have
twice.
Brady may have about 17 Super Bowl rings, but he didn't get any against the Giants.
He never beat Eli. And Nick Foles kind of fucked that argument up for a little bit, but Eli did it twice. And you can say you're lucky if you do it once. You can't say you're lucky if you do it twice. And Daniel Jones, if he were to luck into winning, I don't think it's going to happen, but if he were to win and do a Super Bowl this year, just on some freak 2020 fucks up everything, and then we figure out a way to back into the playoffs. We Giants our way to the Super Bowl and did it. Daniel Jones would then be an awesome troll quarterback. Remember when you guys made fun of him for turning it over? Ha! Fuck y'all.
I got a ring for that season, bitch.
Yeah, right. That would be great. And remember, I guess you were the most recent Giants Super Bowl was the first one you were a fan on, but the first year Eli won his in 2008. He played the Cowboys week 1, got hurt. They didn't think he was even going to be able to play. It looked like Jared Lorenzen, our 300-pound quarterback, was going to have to start. And Eli went out there, just played balls to the wall. Plexico Burress had to tape his ankle to fit into his cleat every week after week 1 because his ankle was fucked up. But they just like limped through. They started 0-2. They bounced back. They got it done. They've lost the Cowboys twice, beat the Cowboys in the postseason, and went on to do it. And it was just like, I would never have assumed that was going to win. They beat the undefeated Patriots that fucking year. So it's like, if they can do that, they can do anything. And I mean, like, they got to beat the Eagles. They got to beat the Eagles. But then I'm gonna have some crazy thoughts if they start beating the Eagles. They beat the Eagles. Who knows what I'm gonna predict next week? That's dangerous. When they start winning, I'm like, because my brain just goes, I don't know how good. Maybe we're good. And that's a dangerous thing to do. But I'm buying in, and it's not great for my mental health. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna believe in my team, because if believing in my team is what kills me, I'll die on that hill every day.
It's a nice sword to die on. God damn it.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I got to say about that.
Let's wrap this shit up. Right, Alex, pimp yourself. Give your what do you want people to listen to? What do you people to follow you? Give all that.
Follow me Twitter at Alex J Middleton. Also on Instagram at Alex J Middleton as well. Pass the Gravy Pod on Twitter and Instagram for my podcast. Pass the Gravy has episodes every Wednesday on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. Pass the Gravy Bros over with. But also, if you're in Houston or on iHeartRadio, you can listen to the Rod Ryan Morning Show from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time every weekday morning. Their sports guy is me, and not to brag, but I'm pretty good if you ask me. My mom also thinks I'm fantastic on the morning show as well. So go check out the Rod Ryan Show. But yeah, check out Pass the Gravy podcast. It's pretty dope. And I usually just rant about the Giants and gambling. And my friend is a Packers fan, and we talk about that and whatever else is going on in the world. We tell you what Jesus would do in certain situations. We talk. We hit all the topics. So Pass the Gravy, check that out.
The last one I listened to was, what would Jesus do? Which baseball team would he sign for? That was a good one.
It's the Angels. Let's go with the Angels, because that would make sense, because he's Jesus.
All right. Last thing. How the hell did you get on iHeartRadio?
On iHeartRadio? Well, I mean, I work for iHeartRadio.
So you snuck in your podcast that way.
I mean, yeah, they were asking me, like, they were trying to get into the podcast game. They were really pushing podcasts, and like, well, if anybody has one, please put it on iHeart. And I was like, absolutely, let's do that.
So this one's not getting on iHeart anyway.
No, you can submit it to iHeart. It just if you submit it to iHeart, maybe I can push it through. You gotta have a couple episodes. I feel like I think you get to have 5 episodes before they finally push you through. So we'll just do this in like a month. We'll push it through
for the win.
There we go.
Right. Until
this is on iTunes, right? iTunes, everywhere else. YouTube. I know it's on YouTube.
It's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on Spotify. I'm pretty sure iTunes approved it, because they always, for some reason, take like 4 days to approve a podcast. And it's on a whole bunch of platforms, but the only important ones are, I think it's on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Those are the big ones.
Like, I got one from like, a notification, your podcast is now on Podcast Nation. I was like, who the fuck is that?
I don't know. And as long as I'm on any of them, I'm happy if anybody's listening, you know?
Beautiful. So, 27-23 from Alex. 16-10 from me.
We're going to get it done.
Next week to see how correct we are, because, God damn it, we're going to beat the Eagles. Yeah,
we'll be in first place. First place in the AFC. We'll figure a game out, half a game out first.
Fucking half a game. God.
Whatever. I'm calling it first place.
Right. See you next week.
Later, guys.